Hello, my name is Kata Marol, and I'm in the Web Development and Design program. This presentation is about ethical issues in web development. A few personal goals of mine are graduating from Fox Valley Tech this December, then I want to continue my degree at a four-year school. After graduating from the four-year school, I want to own a small business that designs and develops websites for local companies. Web development has four main categories for the ethical issues that someone will face. The first one is accessibility. There are many different reasons that someone may need to use disability features on a website. A developer's duty is to make sure that they make the website accessible for everyone using these features so that these people can use the website effectively. The second ethical issue will involve sensitive information. Developers almost always have access to information that could be dangerous if it was leaked to the public. This can include contact information, financial information, and even medical information. Developers must use this information in the right ways, but they also have to make sure that they're protecting this information from hackers. The third kind of ethical issue is transparency. When companies make major decisions about their products, the customers will expect to be notified about these changes. Web programs are constantly being updated so that they can be more secure, more efficient, and have a trendier design. Developers should notify their users whenever a change like this is made because it could significantly alter how the product works. The fourth kind of major ethical issue is sustainability. The technology industry is very bad for the environment. Billions of dollars are spent each year to reduce how much the environment is affected, but this problem is still getting worse. Accessibility is an old issue that developers are still trying to tackle. When the internet was invented, they only had to account for one screen size and the very few people that were using it. However, as technology grew more popular, more kinds of people started to use it. And as it grew more advanced, more ways to access the internet appeared. Web developers have to design their websites to be responsive. This means that whenever the screen size changes, the website must also change to fit the screen. Responsive development makes it possible to access a website on any kind of device, from phones to even televisions. This is an important thing to keep in mind when developing, because the developer will never know what kind of device their customer will be using, and they want to have everyone to have a fair opportunity to access the information our site holds. Another thing that developers must keep in mind is disability features. These features include, but are not limited to, screen readers, speech-to-text, voice commands, colorblind options, and font size options. All of these features are easy to implement once you know how to, so it's important to train new developers how to create with them. Accessibility is one of the easier issues to face because there are so many options for how to handle it. There are also tests that developers can perform to perfect the accessibility on their website. There are hundreds of emulators that can help a developer see how their program will look on different device sizes, and some browsers even have these testing options built into their development panel. Developers can also perform live tests with people. These may include blindfolding someone so you can check the screen reading features, or finding someone who is colorblind to see if the colorblind options actually help them. Perfecting these features on a website will ensure that everyone has the same opportunities and they all have access to the same knowledge. The biggest ethical issue that web developers will face will be handling sensitive information. This is any information that a customer, client, or employee would not want to get leaked. This can include a wide variety of things, but it usually includes your name, street address, phone number, email address, credit card number, and passwords. In my interview with Randall Fry, a developer at Wyland Direct, I asked him what he thought the biggest ethical concern in web development is, and he answered that it was holding sensitive information. He explained that it's very important to hire the right people, make sure that they have the right training, because this information could cost the company a lot of money if it got leaked or stolen. There are a few ways that a web developer will come in contact with the customer's information. The most common way will be through logging in. On most websites, there will be an audit of every time someone attempts to log in. The audit will store the user's IP address, which can give the developer access to their full name, internet provider, phone number, and their street address. Another way is through purchases. This will store the customer's credit card information, but it may also require other information like a bank account number, depending on what kind of website it is. The most common way for this information to get stolen is by hackers. Hackers will try to steal this information, usually to sell it to another company or ransom it back. It's the duty of the developer to keep this information safe from hackers and employees that may have malicious intentions. Transparency is one of the ethical issues that often gets overlooked by big companies. This is a huge problem because it means that customers are spending their money on products, but they're not being told all the information about the product they're purchasing. Contracts on websites are often clicked past, but they provide very important information about the website, like what kind of data it's storing about you and what it's doing with this data. Price changes are also important to notify people about. Many streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus all increase their prices occasionally. It's important to notify the customers that they will need to spend more to keep using a service. Updates are another part of development that should be made as publicly as possible. This can be done through developer journals or patch notes. This should be done because there may be people that are using a program for a specific reason, and the update might change this and make those programs unusable for those customers. A transparent update schedule will give this customer the time they need to update their own system, so it all works by the time the update rolls out. Breaches should also be made transparent. According to the 2021 Thales Data Threat Report, 45% of US companies suffered from data breaches in 2020, and that number was 65% in 2019. Customers deserve to know when their data has been leaked because it gives them the chance to change their passwords or notify their banks. This is a good example of a company that's being transparent with their updates. Overwatch is a game that has a roster of heroes that the player may pick from. These heroes are regularly tweaked to keep the game fresh for the wide audience. Whenever they release a patch, it's accompanied by the patch notes, which include every single change that was made to the game. This lets players adjust their play styles, try new characters, or decide if they just want to sit out this season. They released these patch notes as a pop-up on the screen after downloading the new update, so that every player gets the chance to read them before entering a match. Sustainability is a major issue in the web development industry. According to Michael Anderson of Sustainable World Wide Web, if the internet was a country, it would be the 6th biggest polluter in the world, and every day it gets worse. There are many changes that a company could make to be more environmentally conscious, like switching their provider to one that uses efficient energy sources. But there's also a lot of things that individual developers can do too. This making websites easy to navigate and reducing the number of pages used will cut down on the power necessary to keep it running. Using simplified designs can also contribute to making a website better for the environment. A really good way that developers can cut down on energy usage is by making reusable code. Reusable code is code that's written in a way that it can fit into multiple different scenarios and still get its job done. This makes processing speeds much faster, and it will considerably cut down on file sizes. Both of these will make a website run smoother, and this will reduce the power usage. Changes in technology have had huge impacts on the ethical challenges that developers face. Accessibility is now a necessary part of every program because it ensures that people with disabilities will get the same opportunities as everyone else. As technology has advanced to make it easier for people to use it, it's also given bad people the chance to exploit it. Hackers are people who are fluent with programming languages and software, and they use this knowledge for their own gain. Security has had to get very advanced to prevent hackers from gaining access to systems, and they're always finding new vulnerabilities they can use. A popular tactic that hackers will use is called phishing. This is when they try to make human contact with someone who works at the company. They will try to get as much information as they can so they're able to plan their attack better. In my interview with Randall Fry, he said that phishing attacks are one of the tactics that his company trained him to identify. He said that they'll often try to make emails that look official, but they'll have a fake link to a site that could steal data or upload a virus to your servers. Viruses are programs that are meant for malicious acts, like stealing data or doing damage to a server or even hardware that is being used. A fourth issue that has popped up with technology is artificial intelligence. Many people in the industry will use AI software to write code for them because it's a lot faster, and the code almost always works in the way you want it to. This has a lot of dangerous side effects that can be detrimental to any business that uses it. The first side effect is replacing workers with automation. This is an issue in most workplaces. However, it's particularly dangerous in this one because of all the different things that go into making an effective web page. AI does not know how to make secure pages. It only knows how to make pages that work. This is a huge issue because it means that these pages will have tons of vulnerabilities that the owner may not even know exist. This is putting all the data at risk, and that's putting the entire company at risk. Another issue is with usability. An AI will not know what makes a website usable for a customer because it has no way of knowing how a user will respond to the page they're presented with. Web design needs a human touch because it is designed for humans to use quickly and safely. As the internet has grown, so has the number of malicious things you can use it for. A major problem with the internet is that anyone can put anything they want on it as long as they know how. This can lead to malicious pages that try to steal data, money, or files. Thankfully, the laws have been changing with technology so they can regulate what's allowed. Cookie consent pop-ups, privacy policies, and terms and conditions are all features that are required of websites that use these structures. These will let the user know what data of theirs is being logged on the website and how it's being used. The terms and conditions will also let users know what is allowed on the platform. If a user breaks the terms and conditions, then they can be banned from using the services. This is helpful because it keeps most websites clean and safe for all audiences. Copyright laws have also changed to adapt to the increase in digital art usage. This lets artists make money off their designs, and it makes sure that they also get the right recognition for their work. HTTPS, or Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, is a protocol that most websites use to run. It hosts the website and lets the required data flow safely from the servers to the customers. HTTPS is a secure version of HTTP, and it's required for websites that use e-commerce. Any shopping websites should use this protocol because it ensures the safety of the company information and the customer information. As the economy grows, the need for web developers will also grow. Many stores will have a website that customers can use to find important information. According to Zippia, 14.8% of purchases were made online in 2022. As the economy grows, the demand for developers will also grow, and it will be very important for companies to make sure that they're hiring the right people that can be trusted with sensitive information. There are a few ethical concerns that I see rising in the future. The first issue I see is the usage of AI. I think that it is unethical to replace human workers with AI, and I also think that it's counterproductive. AI does not produce secure code, and this is a huge vulnerability that could cause breaches. Another major issue I see is with the transparency of companies. There are a number of big tech companies that can get away with being completely untransparent for their paying customers, and this leads to distrust between developers and their users. The last issue I see coming is related to hackers. In my interview with Randall Fry, he said that his biggest concern was hackers and the new advances that they're always making with technology. Phishing could be made a lot more effective if hackers started to use deepfake technology to make their attempts more convincing. My discussion question for the class is, do you think that AI should be utilized to make programs? I think that the answer to this question is no, because it's not safe enough to be properly utilized, and it doesn't have the capability to think about things like accessibility or designs that are effective for humans. This is my bibliography, and this is the information for the person I interviewed. Thank you.